Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Wednesday, January 19th. We are talking bowl games right now with Ian Cameron and Joe Gavassi from JoeGavassiSports.com. Right now, we're going to take a look at the Outback Bowl on January 1st in Tampa between Mississippi State and Iowa. You know, another bowl game that has a certain outcome written all over it, at least on the surface, which would be the under. Two incredibly impressive defenses here, Mississippi State and Iowa. Well, you know, Iowa used to be a great bet in bowl games and used to have a great overall record in bowl games. Recently, though, they have been losing their bowl games, and especially when they go up against SEC teams. Another knock for Iowa here, though, is that they have two great tight ends on their roster, but one of them will not be playing. And a lot of times when you have two great tight ends like that, there's a synergistic effect that can really go away when one of the tight ends is sitting. Noah Fant is skipping the game; he's not going to be playing, and that will be a big hit to Iowa. On the positive side for Iowa, though, as far as a bet is concerned, you're getting a lot of points here, 7 points with a total that is very low, 44, and maybe a game that would be expected to go under that total, even as low as it is. So in light of that, maybe those points are extremely valuable, and Iowa would be worth a shot here at +7. I'm not sure what I think about this one. Iowa started the year great, but lost 4 out of their last 5 against the spread. Mississippi State, kind of the opposite. They covered 4 out of their last 5 games. I guess sitting here right now, I'd have to be thinking that all things considered, Iowa is at a disadvantage here, but getting 7 points with this kind of a game, I guess I'd have to take the 7 points. Joe Gavassi from JoeGavassiSports.com. What do you like here?
I was skeptical at the start of the season that first-year head coach Moorhead would be successful as a head coach after coming off his tenure as OC at Penn State. Certainly, the experience that he had at Penn State in bowl games will serve him well here as he prepares the Bulldogs for this game. Numbers were outstanding, outrushing foes 226 to 104 every game. And you know, if you double rush a team, the 75% chance to cover automatically. A defense, 12 points a game and only 268 yards, and that in the SEC. Outright wins versus A&M and Auburn. Quarterback Fitzgerald, a nice dual threat, probably a little better runner than passer, but who showed some excellence throwing the ball down the stretch as well. I've learned over the years, though, that you fade Ferentz and the Hawkeyes at your own peril, especially at this level, at this price point. Iowa actually had one of the most impressive offensive seasons in the last 5 to 6 years behind a quarterback, Stanley, who led them to 32 points a game, the most in 5 years for Iowa. So maybe the total is a little bit sketchy at this low price. But Iowa did allow just 17 points and 291 yards of their own. I'm going to take a lot of points here with Iowa. A quality team, a quality coach, and a great defense against a coach making his first bowl appearance. Let's line up with Iowa in the role of underdog in this one.
All right, it is, there are no 7.5s available. It opened at 5, got bet up. Mississippi State took money. Now it's up to 7, +7, -106 is the best line. That's available right now at Pinnacle. And Ian Cameron, you know, we talked about the Northwestern Bowl game earlier in this call. Iowa, sort of the same kind of team, right? A team that is much stronger defensively. They tend to have games with low totals. They tend to be a team that you don't really want to bet against as an underdog, even if you're seeing statistical reasons to do so, even if you're seeing, you know, personnel reasons to do so or research-based reasons to not like Iowa. It's just very, very, very tough to bet against them when they're given points. Very tough to lay points with Iowa. What's your take here, Ian Cameron?
Well, Iowa is not one of those teams that I have had a lot of confidence in recent seasons in bowl season under Kirk Ferentz. In fact, he was on a 5-game bowl losing streak until last year when they finally got a bowl win against Boston College. But prior to that, not very good for this team. They went 0-4 straight up, 1-3 against the spread. Their last 4 bowl games before that win against Boston College. And what's the common thread? What do we usually get from Iowa at bowl season? We usually get them right around New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and they're usually matched up against, for the most part, SEC teams. Right. And they had also had 1 bowl game against Stanford in the Rose Bowl. What's the common thread? They were outclassed in all of those games. 21-14 loss to LSU in the 2014 Outback Bowl. 45-28 loss to Tennessee in the 2015 Gator Bowl. 45-16 loss to Stanford in the 2016 Rose Bowl. 30-3 loss against Florida in the Outback Bowl a couple years ago. Iowa has really just been cathartic against these SEC teams, and I'm worried about that for them here in this game. They've not been able to move the ball, and they're going to find it very, very difficult to move the ball here against Mississippi State's defense, which is no joke, which is a top 5-10 defense in every major statistical category. I still think it's a limited offense. I mean, they can run the ball a bit. I'm not a Nathan Stanley fan. I've never been a Nathan Stanley fan. I think they're going to have trouble moving the ball here against this Mississippi State team. On the flip side, Mississippi State, they rely on running it, and Iowa does have a good run defense, but I do think they're going to move the ball a little bit better on Iowa than Iowa will on Mississippi State. I don't even know if Iowa's going to find the end zone in this game, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I really think they're up against it against this Mississippi State defense. Let's not forget, Mississippi State's defense has had some nice performances this year. They held Alabama to one of their lowest point totals this season. This Mississippi State defense is no joke, and I don't trust Iowa to step up in class against SEC teams when they've had a repeated track record of failure doing so in bowl games in the past against teams from the SEC. I'm actually going to look the other way and lay the points with Mississippi State.
Yeah, and especially when they're having one of their dynamic duo at tight end sitting. How big does that weigh on your analysis of this game, Ian?
Yeah, it does. It does. I think this is one of those, you don't usually equate the favorite with the under, but I would equate the favorite with the under in this particular game, even though usually you take the over when you look at the favorite, and usually the under's correlated with the underdog. But I'm actually going to break that mold here in this game. I mean, the total's only 44. Mississippi State's laying 7. I could see them winning this game 28-10.
Sure.
That's definitely a plausible final score for me in this type of game. I just think Iowa's going to be hard-pressed to get 10 points or more in this game. I really think they're going to have a real tough time winning that battle in the trenches against this Mississippi State defensive line, which to me is one of the best in college football.
So what about this, Ian Cameron? How about the Iowa team total under, which would be over 17? At the current lines, it would be about 18 or 18.5. We remember when Iowa went up against a similar defense when they went up against LSU. I forgot, that was like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. They actually did get a cover in that one because they were a 7.5-point dog and they lost by 7, but it was a low-scoring game and their team total went under. So I could easily see this being a situation where even if we see a push or even maybe a cover, but depending on where the line closes by Iowa, still a situation where the Iowa team total under cashes easily. That might be the best way to play this game, Ian.
Yeah, if you're interested in Iowa team total under, I would not talk anybody out of making that wager. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Joe Gavazzi, you like Iowa +7, but what are your general thoughts on someone who was thinking about playing the Iowa team total under? Could easily see Iowa, getting a cover here, but the game being so low scoring that their team total under covers and cashes anyway.
Sure, those are all good fundamental points that you guys have made, especially about Iowa struggling versus the SEC. Some of those seasons, however, Iowa was right in the thick of the Big Ten and may have had a letdown here after trying so hard to capture the Big Ten. They didn't have that issue here this season. They were pretty much out of the Big Ten race by the middle of November, maybe third week. So they may have had a chance to regroup and have a little more to prove than they did in those previous seasons. Again, however, wouldn't surprise me if this was a very, very low-scoring affair. However, keeping in mind that Iowa did score 8 points more this season per game than they had in any of the previous 5 years.
Awesome breakdown, guys. Joe Gavazzi is going to take Iowa +7. Ian Cameron's going to take Mississippi State -7. And I'm thinking about taking the Iowa team total under. I may make that an official play in upcoming Low Shack in the Bag shows. Ian Cameron, Joe Gavazzi, thanks so much.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.